Hello everyone. So the next concept in insecticides and pesticides is called as rodenticides. Now these rodenticides, they are the pesticides that kill rodents. Now rodents, they will include rats, mice, squirrels, porcupines, etc. Although these play a very important role in nature, but they might sometimes require some control. Hence rodenticides were considered for killing the rodents like rats. Now, rodenticides are chemicals made and sold for the purpose of killing rodents only, and hence they are commonly referred to as rat poisons. Once they were said to be controlling many of the other rodents, but very commonly these rodenticides they fall under the category of rat poison. Now, some of the classification of these common rodenticides would be warfarin, which acts as an anticoagulant, which is a chemical class of hydroxycumene compound. Now, this means that it is going to enter into the blood and it will not allow the blood to coagulate. Chlorpheniramine, again it is an anticoagulant. The chemical class is indane diphascinone, anticoagulant. Again the category is indane. One of the rodenticide that we try to easily synthesize is warfarin. 4-hydroxycumene reacts with benzyl acetone to give racemic warfarin. Now this would come into the system like the double bond of the 4-hydroxycumene would attack onto the carbonyl carbon leading to racemic warfarin. In this, the NMR suggests that we will be getting the proton NMR for two benzene systems present in the range of 6:7. There is an OH group which is a D2O exchangeable group. The C double bond Cs can be observed in an IR in the range of 2940. Carbonyl carbon, which is looking like an ester carbonyl carbon, but it is in conjugation of the double bond, it may be around 1730. 1730. We can see there is another carbonyl carbon which looks like a ketone and hence it will lie in the range of 1715. So this is how spectroscopically we can establish warfarin component. The other category is chlorofascinone. Now this we have already discussed that it is an indane dione structure, meaning that on a 5-membered ring there are two carbonyl carbons and hence this category is called as indane dione system. Now this also acts as a rodenticide system. In this also we can observe there is a carbonyl carbon which is going to give in the range of 1750, whereas these two carbonyl carbons which are present in a 5-membered ring. So because they are present in a 5-membered ring, their the per centimeter would be a bit higher. That means they might come in the range of 1730 to 35, because the as we go on reducing the ring size, the carbonyl carbon would increase in the per centimeter. Now we can observe there are three benzene system. In an NMR system, these protons they will appear in the range of 6:7. Because there is a presence of chlorine system in a mass spectroscopy, we can observe 3:1. Now we can see that presence of a chlorine would make it a better rodenticide compared to that of racemic warfarin. But it is very easy and economic to synthesize warfarin and hence it is being used as a rat poison or a rodenticide system. After understanding the rodenticide system, the next category would be a system called as insect pheromones. Pheromones are the chemical compounds which are produced as messengers that affect the behavior of other individuals of insects with other animals. Now we can see that pheromones basically means they are called as insect hormones. Now these hormones, once they are released into the environment, the other category of the insects or the other predators will act towards it, and hence these pheromones they act as signals to the other species of the insects or to the same insect species only. Now, when we say that there are insect pheromones, we can see in a colony of insects, like for example bees or ants, there are some queen bee, there are some worker bees, and there are some kind of male bees. Now these have some controlling mechanism. Now this controlling mechanism, it comes because of the presence of this insect pheromones only. Now these pheromones, they are usually wind borne. That means they are released into the wind, soil or vegetation, or on the various items. Now when this smell comes, that means it has been found that these pheromones or the smelling hormones, they convey different signals when presented in combinations or concentrations. Now these pheromones are species specific. That means an ant pheromone will be different from that of a bee pheromone. They are generally hormones secreted by exocrine glands. Now there are two types of glands. One is endocrine glands, the other one is exocrine glands. When we saw juvenile hormones, we spoke about the endocrine glands, whereas for the insect pheromones, it will be exocrine glands. Now these pheromones, they are also called as ectohormones, and they are released in a very minute quantity to bring a very major effect by functioning as a chemical messengers, and are used as a chemo signals in intraspecific communication. Now when we see ants or bees, they have a particular way of moving, or when we see an ant trail, that means we can see that one ant is moving behind other. This is because there are certain signals from one ant to the another, so that they move in one particular direction. Now these are again in a very minute quantity. Now, from where did this word pheromone came from? It was coined by the scientists Carlson and Lusher. It is derived from two Greek words. Pherin is to carry, hormone is to excite. That means pheromone is to carry this hormone and to excite the other species. Now, the term was originally applied to sex attractants of insects. That means for the mating and all, this particular term was being used. But later it was observed that this term is very broad ended, and it includes various kinds of chemicals released into the environment and functioning differently in almost all the animals. Not only the attractant were the type of the pheromones, but also the other species were also observed. Coming to the classification of pheromones. Pheromones are classified based on their function. There are 10 major classification. One is aggregation pheromone, alarm pheromone, epidictic pheromone, releaser pheromone, signal pheromone, primer pheromone, territorial pheromone, trail pheromone, sex pheromone, and other pheromones. Now these are the general categories of the pheromone component. Now, what are these pheromones in a specific sense? Coming to the first category called as aggregation pheromones. This induce the group formation by bringing many of the individuals of both sexes together. Now, for example, in bees, the worker bees, they come together. Now, they come together because of the release of such aggregation pheromones. Their activity may resemble that of sex pheromones because they often increase the probability that copulation will occur in the population. They might seem that there is a copulation or a mating phenomena that might happen, but the aggregation pheromone just gives a signal to gather. One of the example for an aggregation pheromone would be tetradecacy. Now this is a long chain compound with the 10 carbon atoms. Next comes alarm pheromones. Now these are usually volatile components that are released by either clonal or social insects in response to the disturbance. Now if there is some disturbance in the environment as the bees are moving or as the ants are moving, if there is some disturbance in the environment, these alarm pheromones are released into the environment. Now these signals can be monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, or short chain aliphatic carbons, the hydrocarbons. Now the common examples are hexyl acetate, E2-decinyl acetate. Now we can observe that these alarm pheromones, they give a signal about some kind of disturbance in the environment to the same species. That means to the same worker bee or to the same male bee. Epidictic pheromones. Now these epidictic pheromones, this means that they are called as territorial pheromones. Now they speak about the claimed area of specific organisms. Now they will warn the other animals of nearby dominant animal. Now, epidiotic pheromones, these are territorial pheromones where if we can see a beehive, that means a beehive is having a certain area where the beehive is covered. Now, such particular territory is marked by this epidiotic pheromones. Now, these will not allow the other type of dominant animals to attack on the beehives. Now, this has been controlled by 11-cis vacinyl acetate, E9 keto 2 decenoic acid. Now, these are some of the epidiotic pheromones which are also called as territorial pheromones. The next pheromones, they are called as signal pheromones that have evolved for the communication between the members of the same species. Now that means a worker bee can communicate with a male bee, or a worker bee might communicate with a queen bee. Now this is called as signal pheromone. That means in the same species they try to communicate each other. A pheromone signal elicits a specific reaction in the receiver. For example, a stereotyped behavior, releaser effect, or a developmental process. That means either the eggs have to be laid or the eggs will turn into an adult. All this has been given by a signal pheromones, where about which one of the species would tell to the other species. Now this is called as signal pheromones. Common examples are 2-methyl-3-butene-2-ol and 3-methyl-butyl acetamide. Now these are the signal pheromones of wasps. 4-heptanol, 2,6-dimethyl, 3-ethyl These are the signal pheromones of ants. Primer pheromones, they stimulate the olfactory sensory neurons that emit signals to the insect's brain, which stimulate hormones released by the endocrine system. Now, primer pheromones are nothing but these pheromones, they will tell the other insect's brain that the signal has been emitted. And these primer pheromones, they will be given out by an endocrine system. That means an exocrine system of another insect, when releases the pheromone, the endocrine system of the other insect will release this primer pheromones, telling that there is one of the pheromone which is released into the environment. That means there is some signal given by some insect. Now such primer pheromones, now these insects will start reacting to that of the exocrine pheromones. Common examples are isopentyl acetate, benzyl alcohol, 2-nonenone. Now these are seen in the bees. Dimethyl sulfide, heptanol are some of the primer pheromones. Next, coming to territorial pheromones. These are laid down in the environment. Territorial pheromones mark the boundaries and identity of the organism's territory. That means outside a particular territory, these insects or the bees, they will not move. These are marked by the bees or the worker bees, so that the queen or the male species do not move out of this territory. Examples are transgeranyl geranyl acetate, melanin, 3-ethyl-2,5-dimethyl-pyrazine, 2,4,4-dimethyl-5-hexanolide, 4-methyl-3-heptanone, methyl-anthranilate, 3Z6Z8E368-dodecatrienol. Now these are some of the examples of a territorial pheromones. Trail pheromones. We have already seen that. Now, trail pheromones are semiochemicals. They are secreted from the body of an individual to impact the behavior of another individual receiving it. That means if an insect or the ant is moving behind another ant, there is one particular line. That means the first insect will tell the second insect to move behind it. Now, a first ant might tell the other ant, so that the second ant will move behind the first ant. Now, this is called as trail pheromones. Common examples there are methyl 4-methyl pyrrole 2-carboxylate, 3-ethyl-2,5-dimethyl-pyrazine system, ZZE368 dodecatriene 1 all. These are the examples of trail pheromones. Next category, they are called as sex pheromones. Now these are defined as odors produced by either males or females that stimulate one or more behavioral reaction in the opposite sex, bringing the males and females together for the purpose of mating. That means for the copulation, these sex pheromones are released. An example for silk moth or Bombyx muri is EZ1012 hexadecasine 1-ol. This is the sex pheromone of silk moth. What are the uses of these pheromones in insect pest management? This will monitor the insects. That means the insects can be aggregated at one point and they can be killed easily. Control of the pest by mass trapping system or male annihilation system. Certain sex pheromones can be released into the environment and the males can be attracted into it and further copulation can be stopped. Control of the pest by mating disruption. That means females can be killed by having a kind of sex pheromone and then further the females can be killed. Control by lure and kill method. A particular pheromone, when it is released in the environment, certain of the aggregatory phenomena can be observed and further the insecticides or pesticides can be used to kill the insects. So this is called as lure and kill method. Some of the insecticides that needs to be synthesized are farnesol. Now this is nothing but the starting material is transgeranyl acetone. Transgeranyl acetone reacts in the presence of PCl5 and lutein. Lutein is a base in the presence of sodamide and liquid ammonia to undergo a Birch reduction, that is carbonyl carbon is reduced, giving me an acetanylic compound, that is it is going to give me a C triple bond C compound. This acetanylic compound reacts with formaldehyde to give me an acetanylic alcohol, that is C triple bond C CH2OH alcohol. This acetanylic alcohol reacts in the presence of lithium aluminum hydride in the presence of iodine. It reduces the C triple bond C into C double bond C, giving me an allyl alcohol. The allyl alcohol now reacts with Gilman reagent, that is dimethyl copper lithium, to give farnesol. Now here there is nothing but this Gilman reagent, it reduces the double bond so that I will be getting a farnesol system. So transgeranyl acetone in the presence of Birch reduction, it gives me an acetanylic component. This acetanylic component reacts with formaldehyde so that it is going to give me an acetanylic alcohol. This acetanylic alcohol reacts with lithium aluminum hydride in the presence of iodine to give me an allylic alcohol. Further, this allylic alcohol, this will react with dimethyl copper lithium, which is called as Gilman reagent, reduces this double bond to give farnesol component. Now this farnesol component can be easily established spectroscopically because there is a presence of an OH which is going to give around 3300 to 3400 in an IR phenomena. There is a presence of C double bond C which can be observed in the range of 2800 in IR. There are presence of these methyl groups and the CH2 groups which can be observed in a proton NMR and in a mass spectrometer also, because there is the presence of an alcohol system. Loss of a water, that is H2O 18 M minus 18 can be observed in a mass spectrometry phenomena. So we can establish it in a spectroscopic manner also. Farnesol, it is a sesquiterpenoid. It is an acyclic alcohol with a molecular formula C15H26O. It's a trail pheromone of Faroese ants. That means one ant can move behind the other. Lutein, as we have previously discussed, now this is a base. Now this base is nothing but is a six-membered ring base. That is pyridine system like of a base. The last synthesis in insecticides and pesticides is called as synthesis of grandisol. In this, the starting material is 4-methyl cyclohexenone system. This will react with an ethene system so that I'll be getting an Diels-Alder adduct. Dienophile reacts with a diene system to give me a Diels-Alder adduct. Now this Diels-Alder adduct in the presence of trimethyl phenyl ammonium bromide in the presence of lithium carbonate, there is an abstraction of these two protons to give an introduction of a C double bond C system. In turn, methyl lithium will react onto this adduct across the carbonyl carbon so that CH3 and OH can be introduced across the C double bond C. Now this CH3 minus will attack onto the carbonyl carbon so that CH3 will be lying above the plane. Once this C double bond C is present now, osmium tetroxide and sodium periodate system will attack onto this C double bond C so that the ring opening reaction takes place, giving a carboxylic system. Osmium tetroxide and sodium periodate would react with this C double bond C so that there is a presence of a carboxylic group with a ring opening reaction. Now, there are two groups that we can observe. One is a carboxylic group, the other one is a carbonyl carbon group. Now, first let us utilize this carboxylic group which can be reduced to an CH2OH. In the presence of ethoxy-methoxy sodium aluminate system, carboxylic group, it will get reduced to CH2OH. That means in the presence of ethoxy-methoxy sodium aluminate system, carboxylic group gets reduced to CH2OH. There is a presence of a carbonyl carbon now. In the presence of triphenyl methyl phosphonium bromide, it will undergo a Wittig reaction so that the carbonyl group can be converted to double bond CH2. Now this is how grandisol can be synthesized. Let us look into the grandisol system once again. This consists of the starting material 4-methyl cyclohexenone system reacts with an ethene system to give me a Diels-Alder adduct. This Diels-Alder adduct in the presence of trimethyl phenyl ammonium bromide reacts with lithium carbonate to give me a C double bond C. This adduct will react across methyl lithium so that the carbonyl carbon will react and I will be getting a CH3OH. Osmium tetroxide and sodium periodate attack onto the C double bond C, giving a carboxylic group with a ring opening reaction. This carboxylic group will be reduced in the presence of ethoxy-methoxy sodium aluminate to CH2OH. Further, Wittig reaction in the presence of triphenyl methyl phosphonium bromide takes place. Carbonyl carbon gets, it will be converted into double bond CH2 to give me a grandisol system. Grandisol system can be established spectroscopically because of the presence of this OH in the IR system in the range of 3300. Double bond CH2 can be observed in an IR in the range of 2800. We can observe the aliphatic systems also. In a proton NMR, OH is a ditto exchangeable system. All the other protons can be observed at their particular ranges. Grandisol is a natural organic compound with a molecular formula C10H18O. It is a monoterpene containing a cyclobutane ring, an alcohol group and an alkene group and two chiral centers, one of which is quaternary system. We have already seen that Grandisol has got an alcoholic group, an alkene group and a four-membered ring. Grandisol is a pheromone primarily important as a sex attractant of a cotton ball weevil. Now this particular insect, it is a sex pheromone from which it gets its name. It is also a pheromone for other related insects also. Now cotton ball weevil is an agricultural pest that can cause significant economic damage if not controlled, and hence this grandisol can be synthesized and then a lure and kill mechanism can be utilized. Grandisol is a major constituent of the mixture called as grandilure, which is used to protect cotton crops from the ball weevil. Now grandisol is used to protect the cotton crops from the ball weevil insect. So this is how we synthesize certain insecticides. Thank you.